The voice was soft at first, a breath against her ear as she bent over charts.
Amber.
Her head snapped up. Empty hallway, sterile, white, bright. Strange. She dismissed it. Overwork. The endless demands of the hospital. It had to be that. Days passed. The voice returned, more insistent, whispering of ancient remedies, of forgotten arts.
Her ancestor, it claimed, a woman of power, a healer.
But the whispers held a darkness, a hint of something cold and hungry beneath the words. Amber felt a chill, even in the heat of the bustling hospital. The voice grew stronger. It began to weave into her thoughts, whispering suggestions during surgeries.
Use this herb, cut deeper here.
The other doctors praised her newfound intuition. Her patients, however, began to experience strange complications, pain that lingered, scars that wouldn't heal. Amber pushed the doubts away. She was a doctor. She helped people. Her ancestor's name came to her in a dream, Isolde. The name echoed in her mind, reverberating through the misty dreamscape, leaving an indelible mark on her consciousness, a woman feared and revered in their small village centuries ago. Isolde's legacy was one of both dread and respect, a duality that haunted the village's history. Amber researched her family history, finding fragmented tales of Isolde. Each piece of information she uncovered painted a more vivid picture of her ancestor's enigmatic life. A healer, yes, but one who trafficked in bloodletting, in potions brewed under the light of a blood moon. Her practices were shrouded in mystery and fear, whispered about in hushed tones. Her methods were deemed barbaric, her cures bordering on witchcraft. The whispers intensified, growing louder with each discovery Amber made.
Isolde's voice now echoed in Amber's mind, telling tales of her dark practices. The voice was persistent, a constant murmur that Amber couldn't ignore, of how she relieved the sick of their ailments, not by healing, but by transferring the affliction to animals, to the earth, even to other humans. The rituals were complex, involving ancient symbols and incantations.
Her methods were brutal, her knowledge gleaned from forbidden texts and whispered pacts. These texts were hidden away, their pages filled with cryptic writing and dark secrets. Amber felt a growing fascination with Isolde's methods, a dark curiosity blooming within her. The more she read, the more she felt a connection to her ancestors' power. She found herself drawn to the forbidden knowledge, the raw power that Isolde possessed. It was as if the ancient texts were calling out to her, urging her to uncover their secrets. The line between right and wrong blurred. Amber's internal struggle grew, torn between her modern medical ethics and the allure of ancient power. The Hippocratic oath she had sworn felt like a distant whisper compared to the commanding voice of her ancestor. The oath, once a guiding light, now seemed overshadowed by the dark legacy of Isolde. It began subtly, almost imperceptibly, a longer incision than necessary, a cut that seemed to linger just a bit too long, a disregard for pain medication, as if the suffering of her patients was an afterthought. Her patients' cries sounded different to her now, like the bleating of sacrificial lambs echoing in the sterile halls.
Their suffering, Isolde whispered, was a small price to pay for true healing, a necessary step in a grander scheme.
Amber clung to that belief, even as she saw the fear in the eyes of her patients, a fear that mirrored her own doubts. The whispers turned into commands, directives that she felt compelled to follow. Amber's hands moved with a chilling precision, her surgeries taking on a ritualistic air, each movement deliberate and calculated. She began using herbal concoctions, sneaking them into IV bags, ignoring the concerned questions from her colleagues, who noticed the strange new practices. The darkness within her deepened, fueled by Isolde's constant praise, a darkness that seemed to consume her very soul.
Her colleagues noticed the change, the shift in her demeanor, the unsettling aura that surrounded her. Her once impeccable record was marred with strange occurrences, unexplainable complications that defied logic. They whispered amongst themselves, attributing it to stress, to burnout, to the pressures of the job. But one young intern, fresh out of medical school, saw the glint in Amber's eyes, the chilling detachment with which she treated her patients, a detachment that sent shivers down his spine. He began to investigate, sensing a darkness that chilled him to the bone, a darkness that seemed to lurk just beneath the surface of her calm exterior.
Amber's dreams became nightmares, vivid and relentless. Each night she was haunted by the same terrifying visions. Visions of Isolde, her face a mask of blood and shadow, guiding her hands, whispering secrets of pain and suffering. These spectral encounters felt so real, as if Isolde was right there beside her, manipulating her every move. She'd wake from these dreams in a cold sweat, the sheets twisted around her like a shroud. Her heart would race, pounding in her chest as if trying to escape the terror that gripped her. But the fear was always fleeting, replaced by a chilling sense of purpose. It was as if the nightmares were a call to action, a dark mission she was compelled to complete.
Isolde's voice was her compass now, guiding her towards a power she barely understood. The whispers grew louder each day, filling her mind with ancient knowledge and forbidden rituals.
Her apartment, once a sanctuary of soft colors and medical textbooks, became a shrine to Isolde. The transformation was gradual but unmistakable, as if the very walls absorbed the dark energy. Dried herbs hung from the ceiling, their pungent aroma filling the air. These were not the herbs of healing, but of ancient arcane practices. Strange symbols copied from a book she found in her grandmother's attic adorned the walls. Each symbol seemed to pulse with a life of its own, a dark energy that permeated the room. The place reeked of incense and fear, a tangible manifestation of her descent into madness. The smoke curled around her, a constant reminder of the spectral presence that now dominated her life.
The young intern, driven by a growing sense of dread, continued his investigation. He couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was about to happen. He dug deeper into Amber's family history, uncovering the truth about Isolde and her horrific practices. The more he learned, the more he realized the danger Amber was in. He knew he had to stop her, to break the hold that the dead healer had on his colleague. But the task seemed insurmountable, as if he was fighting an invisible enemy. But how do you fight a ghost that has already taken root in a person's soul? The question haunted him just as Isolde haunted Amber, leaving him with a sense of impending doom. Like, share and subscribe for more chilling tales of terror.